And there's news tonight from the White House. President Obama making the call to send 450 more U.S. troops to train, advise, and assist in the fight against ISIS. These are not combat troops. Iraq War veteran and Congressman Adam Kinzinger joins us. Good evening, sir.
Hey, good evening.
President's going to add 450 to train.
Yeah, I mean, fine, right? It's something extra. We're going the right direction. The problem is, the president needs to really have an Oval Office address where he says to the American people, here's where ISIS came from. Here's the problem, and here's how we're going to defeat them. 450 troops, again, an increased training mission, fine. But if you take, where we were a year ago when we started bombing to where ISIS is today, they've made a lot of advances in different countries that they weren't even in a year ago. I don't think 450 troops are going to make the difference. Like I said, it's a good start, but he's going to need to stand up and say, look, here's going to be the strategy that's going to wipe them out. It's going to be special forces raids. It's going to be embedded troops with Iraqi military. And training is a key element of that, especially training the officer corps, which melted away, which is why the Iraqi military melted away.
Included in that address, I think there's something else that's missing or that needs to be done. Is I think the president needs to talk to our vets. Because our vets, some of them left the blood on the battlefield. Some of them are incredibly disabled. Their spouses get a different spouse coming home after the war. And the president's, what some say is an abrupt departure, has a bad influence on where we are today. And I think the president needs to explain to them, because otherwise it seems like, all their heartache and hard work was for what? I mean, we got Ramadi that's fallen, Mosul. I think he needs to talk to the vets.
Well, look, we can, and history is going to always argue whether we should have gone in 2003, but once we went in, I think the withdrawal in 2011 will be deemed one of the biggest mistakes in foreign policy. And like you said, as an Iraq War veteran myself, who didn't give near as much as some of the Marines and Army's guys on the ground, that lost friends next to them, now to see what you fought for and what you actually succeeded in winning for the Iraqi people and for freedom is gone is disgusting. And I think, frankly, this is a very important part where the American people and Congress needs to hold the president accountable to the future of Afghanistan, too, because we could see the exact same thing happen in Afghanistan.
Yeah, and I don't mean to forget about the decision in 2003 going in there and, and what that decision, no weapons of mass destruction. But I think that, I still think that as Commander-in-Chief, there needs to be a message that he's thinking about. This is not an easy decision. Nobody wants another person to die over there. Nobody wants to go there. But I think he's got to let them know that he's thinking about this constantly.
Well, and the president, I think, is trying to manage this problem. He looks at the clock and says, I have a year and a half in office. And I think he really doesn't want to be the guy that, starts Iraq 3 in his mind. And so he's trying to manage it, and he hopes the next person can come in and do it. But at the end of the day, we have to look at the President of the United States to provide us leadership, and I think he's doing his best to kind of put his head in the sand and pretend like this problem doesn't exist while managing it a little bit over here. And that's what 450 troops are. I mean, these guys, these men and women that are going to go train, Godspeed to them. I think they're going to do great work. But I'm just fearful that that's not enough, and we'll have to incrementally continue again.
I want to see him gather. I want him to get Cameron, Angela Merkel, and get everybody else, because the United States can't carry this burden alone.
No, but we can organize a fierce coalition to do it.
Indeed, and that is needed. Anyway, Congressman, nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you. Thanks.
And